Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you are watching Arcane Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Well, dear viewers, if you remember, at the end of the last episode, we made the dangerous trek through the mountain pass, passing through Labyrinthian, making a little side trip up to Skybound Altar, I think it was called. And there we discovered the mystery of the Phoenix Order of Dark Brotherhood assassins. We discovered a couple of mysterious spell books. We found some gear. And we found some human flesh and heart, which we kept because we are just that creepy. We also discovered our second word wall. Fleet encountered his second word wall. This is the second occasion now in which he has encountered this strange language, this strange written language he has never seen before in his life, but somehow is able to read. And each time he sees one of these walls, it fills him with a sense of power, as though he's gaining some sort of strange knowledge that he can't explain. This is going to have a profound effect on him, but the question is, what sort of effect will it have on him? Not understanding anything yet about his relationship to the dragons, not even knowing that he's actually Dragonborn, he may interpret this in a completely different way, and we've discussed this before. But right now, Fleet is under the impression that the experiences he's having around these word walls have something to do with his destiny with the Dark Brotherhood. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the first of our contract victims. That priest is on our hit list. That is our audience hit list. At the request of Amortrance Verum, I will be eliminating him in this episode. But first, we have to take care of some business. We're selling some things, we're buying some materials, we're going to disenchant some stuff, lighten our load, see what else we can do. So we can disenchant that, get rid of the weight, some of this other stuff we already have. Now we've got our lunar spell. I'm going to disenchant these gauntlets. The interesting thing to note about these gauntlets is that it's a static enchantment. And by static, what I mean is it's not leveled based on the size of the soul gem. So conceivably, I should be able to make a pair of enchanted gloves that do double damage without having super high levels in enchant and without having anything more than a petty soul gem, which is awesome. And I'm assuming it functions in much the same way as an enchant would. There it is. It's called sabotage. I'm assuming that it works in much the same way as if we were doing a muffle enchant, for example, where it's not throttled based on the power of the soul gem at the time you do the enchant. It's just flat. So that allows us an opportunity at very low levels in enchant to really make some really nice gear for ourselves, even if we have nothing more than a petty soul gem, which I think is great. So I'm not going to do that now because I don't have a set of gloves that I would like to put that enchantment on. At some point I'm going to craft those, and when I do, I will make my own set of gloves, and I will retire the Dark Brotherhood gloves and put them somewhere for safekeeping. But for now, we're doing fine with what we have. We just got to wait for the right gear to come along, or the right opportunity to craft the gear we really want. So All right, I'm just looking for things here that I can sell to Farengar. I do have doubles of some of these books, and there's a few here that I'm probably not interested in keeping. I don't really need the Mage Light Staff. The Paralysis one I definitely want to keep, though. Yeah, he can't afford to buy anything else from us, so I guess I'll keep it for now.
If you've got the aptitude, you should join the Mages College in Winterhold.
The Mages College in Winterhold. That actually sounds appealing. If you've read Fleet's character background, his father is a battle mage, fairly high up in the government of High Rock, and he has always rebelled against his father's wishes, and his father's wishes have always been a desire to see his son follow in his footsteps, and Fleet has intentionally avoided doing that, in part because he wants to be his own man, but also in part because he likes to goad his father. But now that we've moved into the Dark Brotherhood, we've found our true calling, we're starting to see the wisdom and the usefulness in pursuing certain lines of magic, in particular, conjuration. So the Mages College may actually be something he would be interested in doing. He would be interested in the training and certainly the library. The place is packed full of books, which means packed full of lore. So that right there is a reasonable draw for him to go there. He would never admit it to his father, though. Okay. Let's make some daggers. Get some smithing levels here. Never hurts. The other thing we need to do is convert a lot of hides to leather. One of the things I really want to do, and I'd like to thank Caladran for this advice. I'm going to move from a hide tent to a leather tent, but I need the materials to actually make it. And the reason I'm going to do that is the leather tent apparently provides a greater degree of protection from the elements. One of the stated facts about the hide tent is that it leaks more than the leather one. So I'm going to trade up my hide tent for a leather one, and then I'll probably sell the hide one eventually. I think it makes sense. The leather one's a couple pounds heavier, but provides better protection, which clearly is what we need given the crazy weather conditions here in Skyrim. So, okay. I'm just kind of looking around here, what I've got available to me in steel. I can make quite a few leather items. The only problem I have is the Black Mage set that I've chosen does not really have a pair of gloves. I happen to like gloves and not bracers. These scaled Black Mage gloves are great, but I need dragon scales to make them, and as you know, we haven't encountered any dragons yet. So these are not an option either. So I'm going to have to think on that one a bit. So let's go back here, and let's take a look under Miscellaneous. This is the book. We want to actually create that book at some point too. That's going to teach us how to make better cloaks. So by making that book, we will be adding capabilities to do that. So it looks like I need to acquire a couple rolls of paper, for sure. And then there are a few other sort of miscellaneous supplies that I need in order to craft a tent and do those kinds of things. Let's sneak back here and check out what our new conjuration spells look like. We're going to conjure these forges. These are two of the spells that we acquired from the first... I didn't want to conjure the bow. Wrong hand. These are the two spells that we acquired from the body of the Phoenix Assassin we uncovered. So it's called Chaos Forge. And under steel, we find weapons. Here's the dagger I'm talking about. I'm interested in making that. You can see the base damage is significantly greater than a standard steel dagger. So even without improving it, it's still a better choice for me as an assassin than the steel dagger that I have been using. However, if you actually compare it in size to a steel dagger, it's quite a bit larger than a standard steel dagger. In fact, it almost looks like a machete in a way, but it's super cool. So I just really like the look of it. The extra damage is nice too. So let's see what we need to upgrade this thing. Steel. Pretty simple. We should be able to do that, provided anyone around here has steel. I can't tell you how many times I've been frustrated by the fact that you can actually go to a blacksmith and they have no steel ingots on hand. That just seems inconceivable to me. But I don't know how many times it's happened. Like, you go to the Skyforge, the guy who supposedly works only in steel, and he has no steel. Drives me crazy. Well, we're overburdened at this point. Let me see if I can sell off a few things here at the Drunken Huntsman.
Hello, friend. In the market for some hunting supplies? An archer, eh? I've got just what you need.
Sure you do. Let's see if I've got anything you need. I don't need this. I don't need that. Apparently, all these iron daggers I don't need. This sword I don't need. I've already gotten that. Enchantment. Throwing knives I'm keeping. The throwing torches. The throwing torches are ridiculous. Don't try them. I actually took one and threw it right on a puddle of oil and it didn't light up, so it kind of was not useful to me. That's the only reason I could think of that I might want to throw a torch, and it didn't work, so I'm ruling that out as an option. Alright, so we offloaded a few things. That gets us pretty darn close. Pretty darn close to being below weight. Let's take a little rest here. Now, under food items, there's got to be some things here I can get rid of. Haven't eaten in a while, so we'll do that. I quite often pause to sleep and eat. You've probably noticed that. One of the suggestions I got in the last video, in the comments for the last video, were suggestions about using some of the mods that require sleeping and eating. I'm still thinking about that. Trying to determine whether or not I want to do that, given the fact that I tend to do that already anyway by default, so it might be another layer of complexity that I don't need at this point. Uh-oh. There's trouble. It's trouble. I bet it's vampires. Okay, we're gonna go with a frostbow. See what we can do. Actually, against vampires, I should probably be using flame, but it's what I've got, so. Good hit. All right. There's another one. Come on, get out of the way. I'm really paranoid about hitting any of the civilians here. Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no. Okay, I got the thrall. Come back at me. I want to try to draw them toward me. The more citizens they kill, the worse off I'm going to be. Okay, just the master vampire left. Man, he's taking damage. Okay, he's down. He's down. Oh no.
Damn those gray mains to oblivion. They want to back the storm. Cloaks, they'll get what's coming to them.
They say if a vampire so much as scratches you, you'll turn into one. That better not be true.
Shut up, dude. I am so bummed. I have this terrible feeling that my favorite person in Skyrim just got killed. I'm going to dump off all this extra firewood so I can move. Okay. That's the Battleborn lady. I'm not concerned. Not concerned about her. But, oh... Adrienne Avenici. I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss her. She taught me how to use the forge. I buy all my steel from her. She was always nice to me, you know? Ah, that sucks. That really sucks. That makes me sad. But
careful if you cross the river to the east.
It also impacts my future attitude towards this decision we're going to be forced to make about becoming a vampire or not. That decision is going to come sooner or later.
I mostly deal with
the other thing we need to consider is the history of the Dark Brotherhood associated with vampires. If you're not aware, according to lore, there was a period in history, and I can't tell you exactly which era this was, but that a member of the Dark Brotherhood tried to basically take over the Dark Brotherhood and sort of populate the entire organization with vampires. Who's this guy? Loki. Why is he staring at us? He's a mysterious stranger. And when that happened, this organization that he formed of vampires were called the Red Scars. And he basically created a sect within the Dark Brotherhood of all vampire members, and then tried to take control of the Dark Brotherhood and make it an all-vampire organization. Well, when the Dark Brotherhood leadership caught wind of this, they attacked in force and slit all of their throats in the night while they were sleeping, leaving only the leader of the Red Scar left, and basically decimating his organization, thus saving the Dark Brotherhood from a hostile takeover. That history could also impact Fleet's thoughts about the idea of becoming a vampire. That the very act of becoming a vampire might, because of the way history is written, feel like a betrayal to the organization. So the more time goes on, the more and more I'm feeling like Fleet's decision with regard to that question will be obvious. Who is this guy? We've not seen him in the Bannered Mare before. I don't usually take a moment to socialize with these people here, but this guy makes me nervous.
What can I do for you?
He's staring at us, and I've never seen him before. So,
You want a drink?
leave me alone, Sadia.
Depends. Are you thirsty? Hungry? Both.
All right, give me something. Always go for the bread, and I always kind of go for the wine usually, but...
Now please, no more questions. Yes?
Okay, he's gone back to sit down.
Oh, did you need something?
Oh, did you need something?
I'm going to try to engage him in conversation, see if it leads anywhere. No, he doesn't respond. Honestly, viewers, I can't remember if he is part of a mod I installed.
This is a local favorite and one of the first songs I ever learned. Ragnar the Red.
I certainly get the feeling that he's like checking us out, you know, like sizing us up, so to speak. Well, we're going to turn in. Get some sleep. We got a big day tomorrow.
But then he went quiet.
Gonna get up early.
When he met the shield maiden Matilda, who said, "Oh,
sure is a lot of traffic in this room I paid for.
now I think it's high time that you lie down and
Battleborn. A name I'm sure you know well.
Yeah, what are you doing in my room, Duffer? Ugh, close the door.
And the braggart named Ragnar was boastful no more.
Alright,
When his ugly red head rolled
let's
around
go out here
on
and
the
have another
floor.
look. Look at that. He's looking right up here at us. That's freaking me out a little bit. Think he wants to fight? Look at Fleet's looking right down at him too, like they're staring each other down. Wow, that's kind of creepy, man. I'm not sure. I think Fleet might be a little creepier, actually. Wow, look at that. All right. I think we won that staring contest. He gave in. All right. I think it's time to go to bed. It was kind of weird. I'm going to have to do a little research and see if he's part of a mod I installed. I can't remember. He might be. I don't know. I don't recall. Okay, we are up bright and early. We have an assassination to perform. So my objective here is that... there he is again. I'm going to do this right around dawn. I'm interested in catching him when he's in that spot, that position where he's preaching all the time, in front of that statue of Talos. That seems like the strongest message to send. However, I need to pick a time to do it when he's there, and secondly, when the streets are not filled with civilians. So my thought is, hit him early in the morning before the market opens. And we are going to do it from a very special location that I scouted. Oh, it still makes me feel terrible. Oh well. Skyrim is a harsh mistress. Oh yes. Okay, so we're going to head around this way. First thing I want to do is I want to check in the general vicinity here to make sure there's nobody kind of standing around observing me as I make my move into my final shooting position. So I'm going to look around just a little bit, make sure there's no eyes on me. And then I'm going to take up a firing position on the roof of the Hall of the Dead. And from there, it's a fairly long shot to where he stands. but it's a perfectly concealed location. And I think it's ideal for this assassination. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, there he is. See him way down there? He's a speck. But he's a speck whose days are numbered. Okay, so the stairs are clear of guards, and the guard that is patrolling this area should be on the far end of his patrol route near the stairway leading down to the market. So now is the best time to make our move. It is done. Contract fulfilled. And presumably my gaffe forgiven. Amor transferum. That one is for you. And now we move on. Well, we've reached the end of another episode. Thank you for taking the journey with me. And until next time, may all that you do be swift, quiet, and deadly. And to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry.
Stormcloaks, Imperials, Dragons. Ain't no matter to me what I kill. Let them come.
You've been watching Aranis Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. If you liked this video, please rate, like, and subscribe. For more information on this and other CouchWarrior broadcasts, visit me on the web at www.couchwarrior.tv.